Have you ever noticed how your silence makes people restless? How the moment you stop responding, explaining, or defending yourself, suddenly they start to question everything. That's not weakness, that's power. Because silence is not empty, it's loaded with truth, control, and strength. The people who once tried to manipulate you, guilt you, or test your limits can't stand your silence. They panic, they overthink, they replay every word they said because they know deep down they've lost the one thing they used to control, your reaction. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best answer to anger is silence." And he was right. Your silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's emotional dominance disguised as calm. So, if you've ever felt the urge to explain yourself to those who don't deserve your words, stop. Let your silence speak for you, because silence makes them question, wonder, regret, and realize your worth without you saying a single word. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence is my strength. Let's begin. Number 1. Silence is control. Your silence is not weakness, it's command. When you choose not to react, you shift all the power back to yourself. People who seek control over you crave your reaction, your explanation, your emotional energy. The moment you stop giving it to them, they lose their grip. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And silence is the bravest act of all, because it requires strength to not defend, not argue, not prove. Your calm becomes terrifying to those who thrive on chaos. They don't know what you're thinking, what you'll do next, or how much you've grown. That mystery eats at them. Every time you hold back your words, you remind them that they no longer control you. You control yourself. And that's where true power lives. When you stay silent, you're not backing down, you're rising above. You're letting them drown in the noise they created while you stand untouched, unshaken, and in full command of your emotions. Silence isn't passive, it's dominance in its purest form. Number 2, silence exposes their true intentions. When you stop talking, people reveal themselves. Your silence becomes a mirror. It forces others to face their own motives, their guilt, and their games. Most people use conversation to manipulate emotions, to twist words, to maintain control. But when you take that away, when you refuse to play along, they panic. They start showing who they truly are without even realizing it. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's the essence of silence. You're not explaining yourself anymore, you're observing. You're watching who respects your space and who tries to invade it. Silence removes the mask. Those who genuinely care will understand you're quiet. Those who only wanted to use you will grow uncomfortable in it. Let them. Because silence doesn't just protect your peace, it uncovers truth. And truth, once seen, can't be unseen. The beauty of silence is that it doesn't beg for honesty, it demands it. When you say nothing, people have no one to argue with but themselves. They'll replay every conversation, rethink every action, and eventually realize they weren't fooling you, they were only fooling themselves. Number 3, silence shifts the power back to you. When you go silent, something powerful happens. The control they once had starts slipping through their fingers. They can't read you anymore. They can't predict your reaction. They can't manipulate your emotions because your calmness confuses them. You're no longer feeding their ego with attention, validation, or arguments. You've taken the power they used against you and turned it into your strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your silence proves you've mastered that. You've stopped reacting to what they do and started responding with self-control. And that terrifies them, because silence is control. They thrive on emotional chaos, but when you give them nothing, they crumble under their own noise. Every unanswered message, every unspoken word, every calm look sends a message louder than anger ever could. You don't control me anymore. That's how you reclaim your peace, by refusing to give them access to your energy. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you rise above them. Remember this: silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's how warriors move before victory. Number 4. Silence exposes their true character. When you stop talking, when you stop chasing, when you stop explaining, you give people the space to reveal who they really are. Silence is the mirror that reflects truth. If they cared only about control, you'll see them panic. If they valued you genuinely, you'll see them step forward with honesty. Either way, your silence forces authenticity. Epictetus once said, "Silence is safer than speech." For words can be misinterpreted, but silence speaks the truth clearly. Your silence reveals patterns that your emotions once blinded you to. Stop initiating contact. Let them come to you and observe. Don't react. Watch behavior, not promises. Real ones act, not talk. Journal your emotions instead of texting what you feel. It keeps your mind clear. Breathe before reacting, because the pause between impulse and action is where wisdom lives. Your silence becomes a filter. It removes the fake and highlights the real. Those meant for you will respect your quiet. Those who only wanted power will hate it. Either way, you win, because truth always rises in stillness. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence exposes truth and protects my peace. Number 5. Silence builds power they can't understand. When you stop responding, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop feeding their ego, you begin to rebuild the power they tried to take from you. They once thrived on your reactions, your anger, your confusion, your attention. It was their fuel. But when you go quiet, that fuel runs out, and suddenly they're left facing themselves. That's the power of silence. It confuses those who relied on your noise to feel strong. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." So instead of arguing or proving your worth, rise in silence. Use that energy to upgrade your mind, your body, your life. Channel your focus inward. Read daily. Train your discipline. Master your emotions until no one can provoke you. People lose power the moment they show desperation, but you gain power when you show restraint. Take control of your time. Don't wait by the phone. Don't check their updates. Don't replay the past. Live so deeply that your silence becomes your statement. Let your progress make the noise. Every time you choose not to respond, you teach them that your peace is not for sale. You remind them that your value doesn't depend on being chosen. It comes from being centered. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence is strength, not surrender. Number 6. Silence exposes their true weakness. When you choose silence, you strip away the mask they hid behind. They can't manipulate what doesn't react. They can't twist words that were never spoken. And that terrifies them, because your silence becomes a mirror. They start seeing themselves clearly, without your emotional cushioning to protect their ego. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And when you don't react, you take away their weapon. They start replaying every moment, questioning what they did wrong, doubting their importance in your life. That's the power of composure. It forces them to face their own reflection. Instead of chasing closure, you've handed them self-confrontation. They now have to deal with the weight of their own behavior. While they spiral in confusion, you stay calm, grounded, and focused. You're no longer trapped in their emotional chaos. You've chosen peace over participation. That's what makes silence so commanding. It's not weakness, it's emotional mastery. Every second you stay quiet, you remind them that your worth doesn't need validation. Your calm isn't ignorance, and your peace is your ultimate form of control. Next time you feel tempted to break your silence just to prove a point, stop. Take a deep breath and remember, you already won the moment you refuse to engage. Your restraint is their reality check. Their reaction will tell you everything their words couldn't. Your silence is the echo of power they can't touch. Number 7. Silence builds undeniable respect. When you stop talking, people start listening. The very ones who once ignored your voice begin to crave it. Your silence becomes louder than any argument, any explanation, any plea, because silence commands presence. It forces people to acknowledge what they took for granted. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Your silence embodies that truth. You don't tell people who you are anymore. You show them through your restraint, your calm, your self-control. Every time you choose not to engage, you send a message stronger than words. I don't need to prove my value. You'll feel it when I'm gone. That kind of power shakes people. It makes them realize how much space your energy once filled, how your attention was a gift, not a guarantee. Silence shifts the balance of power. You no longer chase to be heard. You become the one others chase to understand. From today, make silence your boundary. When someone disrespects your energy, don't argue, withdraw it. When someone plays games, don't respond, observe. When someone underestimates you, don't react, rise. Respect isn't demanded, it's earned through self-control. And nothing earns respect faster than a person who can stay still while others scramble for attention. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence commands respect, and my peace cannot be bought. Number 8. Silence is your closure, not their apology. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation to move on. You don't need their validation to find peace. Your silence is your closure. When you stop seeking answers from people who broke you, you take back every piece of power you once gave away. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your silence is that reaction. It's you saying, "I refuse to let your chaos live in my mind rent-free any longer." When you stop waiting for them to make things right, you start making things right for yourself. That's when real peace begins. You realize the apology you were waiting for was never going to heal you. Your self-respect will. You realize that walking away in silence hurts them more than any confrontation ever could, because they expected you to fall apart, but instead you rose. They expected you to beg, but instead you became untouchable. Silence is not weakness. It's the end of their control. Don't break your silence to make others comfortable. Don't explain your worth to those who couldn't see it. Don't revisit wounds to prove you've healed. Stand firm. Let your calmness be the end of the story. When you choose silence, you close the chapter on your terms, not theirs. Listen closely. Your silence was never weakness. It was wisdom. It was strength. It was the moment you decided you were done explaining yourself to people, committed to misunderstanding you. It was when you stopped trying to make peace with those who fed on your chaos. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. And that's exactly what your silence is. It's your refusal to fight their low battles. It's your declaration that your peace matters more than their attention. When you choose silence, you win something far greater than validation. You win yourself back. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop bleeding energy into the wrong people and start investing that energy into growth, purpose, and peace. Your silence shows them what words never could, that you've evolved, that you've detached, and that you've risen beyond the reach of their control. They can't manipulate what no longer reacts. They can't control what no longer responds. They can't touch what's already free. So, as you walk away, hold your head high. Don't look back for closure. Your silence already delivered it. Don't seek revenge. Your peace already serves it. Don't explain your silence. Let it speak for you. Because the truth is this: people remember the one who walked away quietly more than the one who stayed and begged for understanding. Your silence echoes in their mind longer than your words ever could. From today forward, practice the art of emotional discipline. Don't engage where peace can't exist. Don't argue where growth isn't possible. Don't respond when silence says it better. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Now, before you go, I want you to comment this affirmation below. My silence is my strength. I control my peace. Let those words become your armor. Let them remind you that you are not powerless. You are powerful beyond measure. If this message spoke to you, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and make sure you subscribe for more powerful reminders of who you truly are. Your silence has already changed the game. They just don't realize it yet, but they will, and when they do, it'll be too late.